For over 50 years, observatories have been silently listening to the cosmos. But this signal was different. It bore the marks of intelligence. Hello, I'm Dr. Sarah Thompson, and I'm about to take you on a journey that will challenge everything you thought you knew about our place in the universe. As an astrophysicist who spent decades searching for signs of extraterrestrial life, I never imagined I'd be the one to uncover the truth. But here we are, on the brink of a revelation that will shake the foundations of human history. It all began on a seemingly ordinary night at the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico. The massive radio telescope, spanning 1,000 feet in diameter, had been tirelessly scanning the heavens for decades. But on that fateful evening, as the dish slowly rotated to capture signals from a distant part of the universe, something unprecedented happened. The computers started going haywire, screens flickering with an influx of data unlike anything we'd ever seen before. First, we thought it was a glitch, maybe some interference from a nearby satellite. But as we began to analyze the signal, our excitement grew. This wasn't random noise or a natural phenomenon. The pattern was too complex, too structured. It had all the hallmarks of an artificially created message. I remember the moment clearly, standing there in the control room, surrounded by my colleagues, all of us staring at the screens in disbelief. The air was thick with tension, and you could almost hear the collective intake of breath as we realized what we were witnessing. This was it, the moment we'd all been waiting for. First contact. But little did we know, this was just the beginning of a mystery that would span millennia and challenge our very understanding of human civilization. You see, as we delved deeper into the signal, we began to notice something strange. The message wasn't just coming from space, it was coming from our past. From the pyramids of Egypt to the Moai statues of Easter Island, ancient civilizations left behind clues of visitors from the skies. It was as if these ancient wonders were suddenly speaking to us, revealing secrets hidden in plain sight for thousands of years. I found myself standing in the shadow of the Great Pyramid of Giza, running my hand along the cool, ancient stone. The hieroglyphs that had puzzled archaeologists for centuries now seemed to take on a new meaning. What if these weren't just stories of gods and pharaohs, but records of visitors from beyond the stars? Inside the pyramid, we discovered carvings that had been overlooked for generations. They depicted beings descending from the sky in what looked eerily like modern spacecraft. Similar images were found in ancient caves on pottery and in the artwork of cultures separated by vast distances in time. It was as if humanity had been trying to tell us something all along, but we'd been too blind to see it. The Moai of Easter Island, those enigmatic stone giants, revealed their secrets too. Using ground-penetrating radar, we found that the statues weren't just heads. They had bodies buried deep in the earth. And on those hidden torsos, we found inscriptions that matched the signal we'd received from space. It was mind-boggling. How could an isolated island culture have known about a message that would be received for thousands of years? As we pieced together this cosmic puzzle, a chill ran down my spine. These weren't just random artifacts or coincidences. They were pieces of a global communication system left behind by beings who had visited Earth in the distant past. But why? What were they trying to tell us? The answer, as it turned out, was hidden in the very signal that had started our journey. Back at Arecibo, teams of scientists and cryptographers worked around the clock, using the most advanced supercomputers on the planet to decode the transmission. The tension in the air was palpable as we fed the data into the machines, watching as they crunched through billions of calculations. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. We were on the verge of giving up when suddenly, the computer screens lit up with a message. My heart raced as I read the words that would change everything. We were once there. We fled. What hunted us is coming. The implications were staggering. These beings, whoever they were, hadn't come to Earth as conquerors or explorers. They had come as refugees, fleeing from something so terrifying that it had driven them across the vastness of space. And now, whatever had hunted them was on its way to Earth. As we grappled with this revelation, our instruments detected something that sent shockwaves through the scientific community. A massive object, unlike anything we'd ever seen before, was rapidly approaching our solar system. It defied all known laws of physics, moving at speeds that should have been impossible. I remember the moment we realized the truth. We were gathered in a dimly lit conference room, surrounded by screens displaying data from observatories around the world. As the object's trajectory became clear, a cold dread settled over the room. They were not the invaders. They were the fugitives. And now, whatever had chased them across the galaxy had found us. The next few weeks were a blur of emergency meetings, classified briefings, and frantic preparations. How do you prepare a planet for a threat you can barely comprehend? As we struggled to come up with a plan, strange phenomena began to occur around the globe. The sky darkened, even in the middle of the day, as if something massive was blocking out the sun. Clouds began to spiral in unnatural patterns, forming shapes that seemed to defy the laws of meteorology. Seismic activity increased dramatically, with earthquakes shaking regions that had been geologically stable for millions of years. I found myself standing on a beach, watching as the waves retreated far beyond the normal tide line, exposing ancient structures that had been hidden beneath the sea for millennia. As I stared at these newly revealed ruins, I couldn't help but wonder, were these the remnants of the last time Earth had faced this cosmic predator? As the days wore on, the sense of impending doom grew. Communication systems around the world began to fail, one by one. It was as if something was systematically cutting us off from each other. In the growing darkness, people huddled around radios, desperate for any information about what was happening. And then, just when it seemed like all hope was lost, a final message crackled through the static. It was the same signal we'd received all those months ago, but this time it was clearer, more urgent. As I listened to the transmission, my blood ran cold. The message was simple but terrifying: do not answer. In that moment, I understood. Whatever was coming, it hunted by following communication signals. By reaching out to the stars, we had inadvertently led it straight to us. Our curiosity, our desire to connect with the cosmos, had become our greatest vulnerability. As I stand here now watching the sky darken and feeling the ground tremble beneath my feet, I can't help but think about the journey that brought us to this point. From the ancient wonders of our past to the cutting-edge observatories of our present, we've always looked to the stars for answers. But perhaps we should have been more careful about the questions we asked. And so, the greatest hunt in the cosmos begins. With us as the prey, the legacy left behind by our ancient visitors wasn't just a greeting or a history lesson. It was a warning, a desperate attempt to prepare us for what was coming. Now, as we face this unimaginable threat, we must draw upon all of our ingenuity, our courage, and our unity as a species to survive. The night sky is ablaze with strange lights, and the air thrums with an otherworldly energy. Whatever is out there, whatever has chased civilizations across the stars, is about to make its presence known. And we, the inhabitants of Earth, find ourselves thrust into a cosmic game of survival that we never asked to play. As I look out at the chaos unfolding around me, I can't help but wonder, will we be the ones to finally break this cycle of cosmic terror? Or are we destined to become just another lost civilization, leaving behind our own cryptic warnings for the next unsuspecting world? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: the hunt has begun, and Earth is the battlefield. May whatever gods or cosmic forces that exist have mercy on us all,